So I think it's really important, for spas and hotels to really understand the profitability here. And when we look at therapists and we see the amount of time that they're utilizing, so say, for instance, they have hour slots, they do an 8-hour shift, 1 hour of that is going to be their lunch break, for instance. So realistically, with time in between, they could probably see about 5 to 6 clients in one day. And if we work that out in terms of cost of product, it's far more lucrative to sell products because product is disposable and you need to repurchase probably at a higher frequency than you would need to have facials or to have treatments because the amount of products you are using. So in a line in general, you probably will use about 6 products: a cleanser, a toner, an eye cream, a moisturizer, serum, and a night cream. So 6 products there. They each will have a shelf life of about 3 months, maybe at a push. Maybe people use them a bit more frantically, about 2 months. So you're thinking replenishing that maybe at the cost of £300 or £400 every 2 months. It's quite lucrative. And if we think about the amount of customers that we see and clients we've seen, the opportunities there for businesses to really capitalize on retail sales within those environments that we've effortlessly now created and the therapists have now created, those margins are so much better. So I believe it's about a 4% conversion rate from a spa treatment to selling a retail product, which is so super low. And if we can increase that by 10%, 20%, we are increasing such huge profits, which can then be put back to education, to creating experience, to thinking about how do we implement these training guidelines, to think about how do we underpin and support our therapists on a day-to-day basis to be able to give them the confidence to be able to retail. And I don't want people to feel that retail is a swear word. It's not about being really aggressive and grabbing someone and shaking them and saying, you must buy this. It's about the extension of the service. And I've used that often, during this conversation. It's about making sure that we understand that we are adding value to our client. Our client has come to us with a need, whether to solve a particular problem, whether it's muscular, whether it's a facial lifting, firming, whether it's brightening or using skincare and a treatment, a hand and arm massage, foot massage, doesn't matter. They've come to us because they need something specific. We are already using products within the treatment itself. And by utilizing product as aftercare, is a way of extending that service. So don't think of it as selling. We are adding value. And that's, I think, where we're missing a trick. And that's what I really try to educate, to empower, that we're not selling product, we're adding value, and it's the extension of what we're already offering.
So essentially, to get the numbers, we're not to be obsessed by the numbers.
Yeah.
When we focus in on the numbers and the figures and the cost of this and the cost of that, that actually has a counteractive effect.
Absolutely. And we have to look at numbers. We're all in business. We have to look at the profitability of something. Is it working? Is it not working? And, I think people think that education is airy-fairy. And I come across, when I look at it, very commercial minded, because it needs to impact. Whether that impacts the business in terms of retail turnover, impacts staffing positively to create a very positive change, the way they use language, their confidence. This is all going to impact the business in a really good upwards direction. So I think people feel like, and this is what frustrates me, and this is my pet peeve, I suppose, is that businesses would rather spend thousands on social media influencer where there's no capitalization on ROI, or to spend thousands or tens of thousands, and brands will spend hundreds of thousands on marketing campaigns. Hotels will do it the same. Spas may do it the same. But when it comes to empowering their staff, who is that first point of contact with their customer, that first level that the client sees, to give them the tools and the ability to be able to increase that business, but create a community and create loyalty, they turn their nose up at it. I'm not saying that every business does, but in my experience, when businesses make a cutback, it's usually education that goes. And you don't see the education diminish the retail side or the business side straight away. You see it within 6 months. You see it within a year, where it's some irreparable damage to the business. I think it's important that education is seen to flow and seen to evolve with the evolving strategies of that business. And it doesn't just stop. We don't just go in and do one training and here we go, everyone's going to be amazing. But everyone has different levels and there's different layers and there's different nuances. And I think we need to be more expert in understanding that changing culture and that movement in the environment within the spa industry and the different levels, and how we can support that through education.
So maybe what I'm hearing is it's time to change the way that we form our spa teams and with how we get them to operate.
Yes. Bottom line, yeah, absolutely. I think it's a much bigger question. We've been doing things for 40 years, and the world's evolving. And and even when people said everything's going online because of COVID, for instance, and retail is dead. Retail is not dead. Spa is not dead. People come to retail to spa for experience, and we need to offer them that experience. And the benefit that spa has is that it's part and parcel with the service is that experience. We just have to push those boundaries of what spa can do. And the way we do that is utilizing the tools we already have by empowering our people on the floor.
Absolutely. Totally. So, Arif, that was such a lot of great information there. I'm still sort of like processing it, but I'm sure all of our listeners will absolutely be finding their top takeaways. But, if you could give 2 top messages to, let's say, to therapists in one side, and a couple of pointers as well to spa managers, spa directors, or hotels that listen in as well, that are looking for something a little bit different this year, what would be your top tryouts, must-dos for 2023?
Okay, I think it would be to, for therapists, is to say retail isn't scary, and it's an extension of yourself and your service, and to have it as a conversational piece will just be a tool to add to how you build your clients and how you build your business and how you build loyalty. It's nothing to be scared about. I think for spa directors, hotels, spas, and brands to look at education as a part of the sales and the marketing budgets, not just to look at it as, it just comes out of marketing. It doesn't. Education is the centerpiece and the cornerstone of communication, and communication will help you build your business, whether it's your marketing strategies or your sales strategies. And I think we have to take note that the world has evolved, and we need to create inspirational, innovative, exciting propositions for our clients. And this comes through how we interact with them on the floor. And I think an extension of retail is very much how to get there, to think about how we can push those boundaries and create those exciting areas for our clients.
Thank you so much. That was great. I loved it all. Kylie?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, as always, Arif, you are a ray of light, and you have so much energy and knowledge to share with others. So I hope this has been a very educational session for those listeners and viewers. If you want to learn more, please email us spasisterspodcast@gmail.com. Follow us at Spa Sisters Podcast on all social media channels, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where all the action's happening at the moment. And excitingly, we are now across all major podcast platforms. So tune in when you can, share with your colleagues, friends, and let's get this conversation out there. Thank you, everyone. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.